Welcome to another episode of Wham Baam Gamercam, full of crazy car crashes from various video games. Grab your snacks, hit the like button, and enjoy. Chilled Uploads was pursuing a red Mustang when it rear-ended another car at high speed. Our submitter was hit by the other vehicle after it spun into his path. All three vehicles were heavily damaged, as you can see in this video of the aftermath. The suspect was arrested and taken to a hospital before heading off to jail. Off-Road Covet was driving in a neighborhood behind a Gavril Scout. Suddenly, it was T-boned by another driver who'd run a stop sign. The stop sign runner's vehicle was totaled, and the Gavril Scout spent 6 months getting repaired. Cap was driving on the German Autobahn when a high-speed car nearly hit the vehicle next to him. Soon after, the same vehicle was hit by another speeder. Bernard sent us this security cam footage of a driver flying into an intersection and hitting a vehicle before hitting the entrance of a construction company. Thankfully, a police officer patrolling nearby saw the whole thing and responded immediately. Anton was driving at a crazy high speed down country roads. His girlfriend was in the passenger seat and he was showing off for her. Sadly, he lost control and crashed into a tree at high speed, causing massive damage to his vehicle. He didn't tell us if his girlfriend was impressed. Ambush was in a Formula 1 race when he went over a curve, then managed to overtake two racers. One of the racers didn't appreciate that and pit maneuvered him. Ambush spun around, regained control, and continued racing. BeamNG Drive Mods was testing out a new BMW M2 when another driver failed to yield. At the time, our submitter was driving at high speed and he had no chance to stop. He ended up crashing into the SUV, destroying the brand new BMW. If you want some nice mods for BeamNG Drive, check out his channel link in the pinned comment. This submitter was driving in Euro Truck Simulator 2. Suddenly, a red light began flashing at a railroad crossing. He had to back up since he hadn't stopped in time. All of a sudden, an oncoming police car ran the red light. Cops should really set a better example. Maybe he needs his donuts taken away. Maxim was driving his semi-truck on an industrial site. When his wife sent him a text, he looked down at his phone. While he was distracted by the text, he missed an intersection, hit a fence, and went flying into a commercial property. Maxim told us that nobody was injured, which we're happy to hear. Next time, stay off the phone. Cade was leaving a parking lot in his Mercedes. He needed to turn around, so he began turning after checking to see if it was clear. While turning, he was smashed into by another vehicle. Cade contacted first responders, but they didn't show up. The repair bill was over $36,000 US. This submitter was driving his Toyota Supra in a city. While drifting through an intersection, he flew into an oncoming lane and crashed head-on into an approaching vehicle. Both vehicles were heavily damaged, and our submitter was sent to prison for reckless driving. Ouch! James DB was racing Fernando Alonso's race car from 2008 in F1 2017. While approaching a curve, a faster driver appeared in the inside lane. The two cars made contact, causing James to lose control, but he managed to get it back before drifting through the whole section. Now that's some skill. GV was driving his semi-truck in BeamNG Drive multiplayer. All of a sudden, an oncoming driver decided to turn around. GV had no time to stop, and he hit the other vehicle at full speed. His truck was able to be repaired, but the vehicle he hit was totaled. Chloe was driving her ETK 800 series at high speed on a highway. All of a sudden, another car merged into her lane and she crashed into it at high speed. The impact pushed her into the road barriers and her car began rolling. Both cars were totaled and both drivers were found equally responsible. Mustafa was driving a rally car through an industrial site. He didn't crash, but he did tap the wall. Rate his drifting in the comments. Alex was running from the cops in a stolen police vehicle. I want to know what events led up to this pursuit. Suddenly, he went straight through a curve, hit a jump, flew into the air, and then started rolling over after landing. In the end, he calmly drove away. Ambush's truck engine stalled on an Italian highway. Suddenly, a high-speed Supra approached, hit a ramp, flew into the air, and landed right on his trailer loaded with supercars. The impact caused an explosion that damaged all the supercars on his trailer. Rusty was driving a sports car in Utah at over 160 miles per hour. As he approached a curve, he was now going over 170 miles per hour. He flew out of the curve and hit the tunnel entrance. The impact turned his car into a pancake. Pablo was racing in the Utah Grand Prix when he started to lose control. He began sliding before ending up in the rocks. Hornet was getting annoyed with slow traffic. He decided to overtake everyone when he noticed an oncoming car approaching. He swerved back into his lane, but he lost control and slammed into a bridge support. Isaac was driving his supercar in Johnson Valley. He decided to overtake a couple of vehicles ahead of him. He floored the gas pedal, and as soon as he started overtaking, he saw an oncoming vehicle. He slammed on the brakes, but crashed into it anyway. Skylar was driving a semi-truck with his friend up ahead. Both were transporting loads of lumber. Skylar took his truck too fast into a curve and rolled over. Matthew was cruising on an Italian highway in his hatchback. He was swerving through traffic and driving way over the speed limit. All of a sudden, there was a wrecked vehicle ahead of him. He slammed on the brakes before crashing into it. Nutella was cruising in his Ferrari F40 on the Mount Panorama racetrack. All of a sudden, he drove in the grass with the left side of his car. He lost traction, but managed to regain control. That was some real skill right there. Andrew witnessed a brutal car wreck in a tunnel. He was stuck in a traffic jam due to a car accident when a trucker checking his phone didn't notice him until the last second. The driver slammed on the brakes, but it was too late. He ended up hitting Andrew's car and pushing it into the traffic ahead of him. Elliot was driving in the Italian countryside one rainy night. He was suddenly hit by an approaching vehicle that had lost control. Ash was driving in the Utah mountains when he passed a traffic stop. A little while later, he was overtaking a vehicle, but he flew off the road and began rolling down a hill. His vehicle was irreparably damaged. Devlin was driving his pickup truck in Greenville. All of a sudden, a driver next to him merged into his lane. He was pushed into a light pole, causing significant damage to his pickup truck. T was rallying in a Vivace when he flew out of a curve. He ended up crashing into trees. Oscar was driving downtown on narrow roads. He was driving at high speed when he caught air and landed on another vehicle. The other car was crushed.